So do you see like when like have you ever seen like, cause I don't know if anybody on this call has ever like studied martial arts before or anything like that, like where like you use people's energy, yeah, instead of like trying to match it with like force, which I think is what a lot of you guys do with presenting. You try to like overpower people by repeating yourself over and over again, being like, I believe, I think, I know we can get you, and then you back yourself into a corner. Yeah. But instead use their energy. So when you're like, yeah, like can't we just like, what happens if we start like lower? Are we just going to give it away? And I just went with you. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I see why you would see that. That's really see why you think that's true. And I understand where you're coming from. And it sounds like your main concern is you just don't want to leave any money on the table. Is that right? Yeah. Well, the good news is I'm not in the business of giving homes away. We're certainly not going to start with yours. And what's also true is in the open market, it's impossible to underprice something. Can I share with you what I mean? You see how I'm just like going with you instead of trying to like you're stupid and dumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going right where the path where you're going, and then I logically explain it to you, and then I bring it back to you. So, does that seem like that strategy would really serve you and your family best? Well, no, I don't think it will. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it will either. So then at least it's with the second strategy. And then we go down that path. And then if they object, I acknowledge what you said. That's different than agreeing. I acknowledge it. And then I don't say the word but, because everything after the word but negates everything I just said. So if I said, hey, Franklin, I like you, but that negates everything I just said. You guys use that word all the time. You need to eradicate it out of your vocabulary. It took me like a year to get it out of my vocabulary because it's so frequent in our language patterns. You know what I replaced it with? Instead of, and at the same time, I see where you're coming from, Franklin. And at the same time, instead of, I see where you're coming from, Franklin, but yeah, so I certainly see where you're coming from. And I understand why that would be a concern. And at the same time, it's actually impossible in a truly open marketplace to underprice something. Can I explain to you what I mean? You see what we just did there? If I would have said, yeah, I see where you're coming from, Roji, but you know what I just told Roji? Yeah, you're dumb. I'm smart, you're dumb. Yes? Guys, there's levels to this game, bro. There's a reason why people sell thousands of homes. You know what I'm saying? You got anything to add to that, Hosey?
Oh, I think it was pretty spot on. Yeah. It was great.
Hey, I know it was. I was just being polite. You know what I'm saying? No,
I think it's great. I think it's great guidance. And I think what I was telling them last week, the better they get at this portion or even certain portions of the CMA, it's going to help them. And I realized a lot of times early on in my career, I lost a lot of presentations because instead of trying to help them self-discover, I was telling them what I thought. And a lot of times, dude, and I was trying to be right as well, too, So once I started making those adjustments, the results started changing. And then once I started giving people options and then letting them decide, then people were going to choose what they're going to choose, and whatever they choose either has benefits or consequences. And then at that point, they can decide which strategy works out better for them. So even though you give them the options, that doesn't mean people are going to choose the more attractive one.
Yeah. And then it's having like we continue to circle. So I might ask it again and maybe a third time and then in a different way. And then if they're just insistent, then it's like, all right, cool. So then if we see, well, let me ask you this, right? Because again, you're the boss. I'm here to help. I'm not here to talk you to do anything. Let's see that we see that the marketplace isn't responding favorably. In other words, we're doing everything we've done to sell X amount of homes in the last 12 months. So we know that works, and we're getting showings, no offers, or very few showings, if any at all. At that point, do you think you'd be prepared to make an adjustment? And I would actually do that with my hand, because that's how you teach adults things, Derek. What's up, brother? Nice to see you. You go like this, okay? Because when I said this, what did you do in your mind? Lower. And then see what they say. And be like, yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Okay, cool. So as long as you're okay with that and we're on the same page there, I'm okay with it too. I need you to know and understand that doesn't mean we're not going to give our best effort for those first 2 weeks. Obviously, we get compensated more the more we help you sell it for. And I'll be giving you updates every 7 to 10 days, letting you know what's going on. And if we need to make any adjustments, then I'll share with you, the information that you need so you can make the adjustments you feel are necessary. Sound good? Like, okay, good. So we get that agreement. And I need every one of you guys on this call, because I know it's probably true for every one of you. Deep down, you're trying to prove a point. You're trying to be right. And I'm telling you, that affects your ability to connect with people. It affects your ability to communicate with them. It affects their receptivity to the information that you're sharing. And as long as you can come from a place of like, hey, my job's not to talk to you. Like, I had a coaching client one time, he called me like stunned. Like after 6 months of working together, he's like, bro. I'm like, what? What's up? He's like, I just had this breakthrough. I'm like, what is it? He's like, when you say my job is to help you, it's not to talk you into doing anything. You mean it. Like, that's the breakthrough, bro. Like, he actually thought it was something I said to just like manipulate people to get them to do what I want. No, like I actually mean it. Like, whatever you decide is fine. I had a lady call me yesterday. She's like, hey, I'm watching all your videos. They've been fantastic. And, I've switched 2 companies and the coaching's terrible and you've helped me more than anybody else. So like, I want to get involved in what you're doing in some way. I'm like, all right, well, there's 2 ways to get involved. Whatever you decide, I'll support you 100%. Before I give you those 2 ways, let me ask you a couple quick questions so I can determine how I can best be of assistance and serve you. Yes? Is that anything different than what we're doing here? Nope. I need you guys focus on like the listing bro. The listing presentation is the pricing portion of the listing presentation. Like, this skill is the difference between listing 10 homes a year and 100 and having them actually sell. Because you know what most of you guys started to do as the marketplace shifted over the last, I don't know, 6 months? Some of you guys have actually said out loud, I don't want to list properties anymore. They take too much time. Hey, look at me. That's dumb. You know what you're really saying? I'm not skilled enough to sell properties in this market.
Well, somebody asked me, they're like, hey, look, like right now, obviously the real estate market, back in 2021, they're like, the real estate market is hot. And obviously, like listings are selling better. He's like, when it becomes a buyer market, are you going to become a buyer's agent? And I was like, no, I mean, properties are always going to sell. It's just going to require some adjustments to the skills that I make. But there's always going to be properties that are selling.
That's right.
You
And
know,
so, but
and there's always more leverage on the listing side.
Yes. And it's revealing because deep down, I want you guys to really hear me. Most of us look for the path of least resistance. Look, Roji's like, amen, hallelujah. He's lowering his head. Most of us look for what is easy now. And for that reason, we never actually get good at anything. Do you understand that? Yeah, it's one thing. Oh man, I had a record year in 2021. I'm like, how you doing now, brother? Yeah, I had a record year when it was easy and money was cheap and I could show up in flip-flops and sandals and make 200 grand. Now what are you doing? You driving Uber? Is that what you're doing? Because you know what the marketplace is telling you? You know what direct feedback from the marketplace is telling you? Remember that story I told about my son? Soccer player, right? He goes to a school and they're the number one soccer school, like the number one sports school in the state of Florida. They've won 133 championships in all of their sports, right? And he's pretty good. He plays travel, in the city that we live in, and but he tries out there, and the competition is a lot different. And he doesn't make it. You know what he says out loud, Franklin? He's like, "Oh, I was robbed." You know how many of you guys go on listing appointments? Be like, "I was robbed. That other agent bought the listing. Yeah, that other agent offered free staging. I was robbed." And I said to Sebastian, I was like, "Listen to me, son. I love you, bro. I need you to know something. I'm training my replacement, okay? And we can't have that thinking. Because if you go with that level of thinking, you'll be a victim your whole life and you'll be blaming the world for all of the reasons why you're not producing the outcomes that you want. And I know that our minds are designed to protect ourselves, protect our egos, because we're like from how fast we think we are, as quick we think we are, as cool as think we are, right? But we need to accurately assess reality. Like decisions based on lies have consequences, right? So the consequence of believing that lie that you were robbed is that you're going to go through your whole life thinking that something is holding you back. And you won't be able to accurately assess truth. And the truth is, here's the truth. And I love you, bro. So I just need you to understand me. This is me talking to my son. It's me talking to all of you. The truth is your level of skill and your level of effort at this moment is not good enough. I want everybody on this call to hear me. We live in a world where we want everybody to feel good, so we lie to them. But I love my son enough to tell him the truth. It doesn't mean you're not enough in the eyes of God or no. It just means your skill for this particular thing you're trying to do and the level of effort you're putting forth right now is not good enough. Now, how do you think he responded to that? You think he was like, yes? Yeah, at first he got self-defense. He got defensive. Like, what do you mean? Like, I've been going to camps and I went running twice in the summer. It's like you guys. I'm like, yeah, you role play? Like, yeah, role play like twice a week. And I'm like, okay. So he got defensive because I need all you guys to understand. You say you want the truth, but that's cheesy movie, that movie where he's like, tell me the truth. He's like, you can't handle the truth. Most of you guys can't handle it, bro. So, and I was like, listen, I need you to understand, like, boys make excuses. Men address it and deal with it. You're 15, bro. When I became a man, I gave up childish things. It is childish, the path that you're going down with that thinking. And I'm not saying like you're not doing anything. I'm just saying it's not enough. And I told him, look, I love you, bro. I'm going to love you no matter what you do. I don't care if you play soccer or if you are a professional or whatever you do. The thing I care about most in your life is your relationship with the Lord and your character. I'm going to love you no matter what. But if you're going to tell me that it's your dream to play collegiate soccer, then I'm going to continue to tell you the truth about what it's going to take to actually do it. And this ain't it. He was like, Roger that. I'm like, okay, got it. How is that applicable here? Is it any different?
Let's do more.
Ask myself a question. Do I have A+ dreams with C+ habits? Do I have $1 million dreams with $50,000 a year habits? Hey, you notice the energy in the room? Can we talk about motivation? You can do it. Can you make me feel good today? No, bro, because the marketplace, it's completely unbiased. It could care less that you have bills to pay, bro. It cares nothing about like you. Nature doesn't reward need. Everybody needs. All the animals in the animal kingdom need to eat. Which one get to eat? The ones that deserve it, the ones that hunt every day. The marketplace doesn't reward need. All you guys need a deal. Yes? Doesn't reward that. You know what it rewards? Deserve. If you do what's easy, your life becomes hard. If you do what's hard, your life becomes easy, bro. This is hard. I know. I'm glad it is. Because if it wasn't, the pay would drop dramatically. And everybody would do it. So keep working on the skills, bro. Keep role playing. Nauseating, disgusting amounts. Like somebody asked me one time, they're like, oh man, like the way you tell it, like, blah. I'm like, okay, well, I need you to understand. I can hear you saying that as though you think I'm bestowed with something that you don't possess. You think I came out of my mom speaking like this? If you'd have followed me around when I was in my 20s, you'd be like, what is this guy? Like who's this guy? What's he doing? If you'd have followed Jose around when he was a young man, you'd be like, this guy's going to be a bum. Same with me. You'd be like, he's not going anywhere. What's he doing? It's just nauseating, disgusting amounts of practice. All right, that's enough of the sermon.